guys, welcome back to another episode of Finding Strength. I'm here with strength coach Ed Cosner. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're down in, is this Houston?
Or is this Houston?
This is Houston.
Sweat your ass off, Houston.
We're at his gym, and he's got some guys working out outside right now. Mostly rugby players.
Mostly high school rugby players. Yes.
So kind of, what's your background in coaching? How did you get into it?
Background in coaching. I kind of go all the way back to the mid '80s.
Okay.
When I was lifting in San Antonio, powerlifting and all, playing rugby in San Antonio. A couple of Spurs players asked me if I would teach them the Olympic lifts. Because if I taught them the Olympic lifts, they could get me onto the high school football field, and I wouldn't get run off. Because they always ran me off, they just never ran the tall guys off.
Yeah.
So that's where it started, but I played rugby for a long time, powerlifter for a while. It's just kind of a natural progression to start going to school at the University of Texas at San Antonio, and became the first strength coach there while I was an undergraduate student.
Wow.
And moved on to Baylor University for a graduate assistant scholarship. I got my master's in human performance from there. Got an undergraduate in philosophy and kinesiology from UTSA. And then the San Antonio Spurs, the head strength coach for the San Antonio Spurs, asked me to join his staff to teach more Olympic lifts. Actually, pretty much to teach him fucking how to be a strength coach. Because when I first got there in 1999, the squat racks were 2 Smith machines.
Yeah.
And I was the squat rack. And hand cleaned it up, handed it up to guys. And John, I did a podcast for John Welborn.
Yeah.
And John was like, I don't know which one's more disgusting. The fact they didn't have squat racks and you were having to hang clean it, or all they could squat was what you could hang clean. Like, hey, I can hang clean some weight, but not that much.
Yeah, so that was right at the kind of birth of the college strength coach era.
That was birth of a real NBA strength coaches. NFL was still doing a lot of machines.
Yeah.
And some. And NBA was one of the, everything kind of runs in a circle. And NBA had some really good strength coaches in there in that. And like I said, he had asked me, because the strength coach for the Chicago Bulls, Al Vermeil, real big into Olympic lifts. I mean, real big into that, with some other things in there too. It's not just about that. And I got brought in I was there for the first 2 championships, and decided it was time to go. I went to Australia to coach.
Okay. Is that Australian football, or is that
Australian rules football and rugby league? I'd already worked in rugby league before, and then came back and was doing some private work in San Antonio, and got an opportunity to go to New Zealand to coach with one of the top rugby union teams in the world, the Crusaders.
Okay.
And stayed in contact with a lot of boys down there. And in 2010, became the 2011, early 2011, I became the personal strength coach for one of the top tight forwards or front row forwards in the world, Ben Franks, and then slowly added his brother, Owen Franks, who's now considered the greatest rugby tight forward in the world, period.
Wow.
And not just the quickest, not just the fittest, not just the strongest. With what Ben is, Owen's trying to take that title from him. Both the boys won, and I've still trained them to this day. Both boys have won 2 World Cups, 2 Rugby World Cups. They don't lose. And Ben's moved on to London. I'm going to continue to work with him. I work with Owen with the All Blacks, a few other ones. Asked me, talked to me about other stuff. I'm doing a lot more online training now. Got involved with Train Heroic last year. Okay. And getting ready to put all of my programs up there. I work with a lot of the kids, young boys that you saw in here. They're all high school All-Americans, and I work with a team, Texas High Performance Rugby, and it's an elite team, kids selected from all over Texas to compete.
Wow.
So, but the online is where I want. I look at the programming that's out there, even at the top level in rugby, and you would be disgusted by what teams like the All Blacks, as great as they are, what they do for strength training, what the Australian team Wallabies do. Well, and you've seen a decline in the strength positions, which would be the tight 5, and that's what I work with, tight 5.
Yeah.
I work with the meat.
Okay.
The backs. Yeah, backs can work with somebody else. I'm going to work with the tight 5. I'm going to work with the big guys.
Yeah.
The 3 guys up front, the 2 guys in the back. The 2 guys in the back, because they're basketball power forward size. They're going to be 6'5" to 6'7", they're going to be about 240 to 245 pounds. That can run for American standards, let's probably 2.5 to 3 miles every game for 10 months.
Wow.
And that's the twist on the programming for that. Right. My international rugby players, my top level rugby players, they play for 10 months out of the year and have a two-month off season.
So if I follow conditioning and that.
Right. If I follow the normal periodization model, I would do in season for 10 months and off season for 2 months. No, prior to winning 2015 Rugby World Cup, Ben and Owen both squatted well over 600 pounds for sets of 3, and the next day went out and ran over 2 miles a game. And it's not just the running; it's the 50+ tackles, offloading the ball, clearing a ruck, which is just literally smashing the shit out of somebody that's trying to poach the ball.
Yeah, it's not an easy sport.
Not an easy sport with no pads.
By any means.
And then there's the others. I have to keep body weight on them too.
Yeah, that must be rough. They're burning that much calories.
They're burning that much calories. A lot of the boys, I get them to understand how important the eating and everything else is, and they're really good about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really dedicated to their craft. They're the first era of real, professionalism. 2 steps up.
Yeah.
So.
So what are the flaws that you see with a lot of those programs?
Not to bag on anything, but there are, in New Zealand, there are a lot of CrossFit crossover to it, a little too much. Trying to do everything as a cycle, trying to make sure that somebody is conditioned in the weight room as well, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
We'll use it some where we'll use heavy bench press. Well, if they're going to do heavy bench press, I'm going to give them a short downtime. Mm-hmm. So I'll give them 30 seconds to walk over to a band and do, pulls to the face.
Yeah.
Then they can have their 2 minutes.
Okay.
If we're doing heavy, they can have 2 minutes. If they're not doing heavy, they get 90 seconds. They're never going to get more than 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. That's
not even on heavy squats.
Yeah.
Unless we catch a time where, maybe we have a couple easier games come up. Or I got big travel. The guys from New Zealand, they have to go to South Africa to play. Mm-hmm. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it takes time to get there. They have, it takes time to, get acclimated. They have 2 games, then they come home. So, I'll try to get as much as I can there so we can go maybe a heavy bodybuilding phase while they're in country. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to expect them to do, hang cleans because I don't know how great the bars are.
Yeah.
If the bar's not going to spin, I'm not going to beat up their wrists and their elbows. And plus, you just got done, you go from New Zealand to Australia, and Australia to South Africa. That's a long flight. That's a long time for anybody to be sitting on their butt. So you try to get them off, get them moving.
What do you do for them after they come off those flights? What do you suggest that they do?
We'll give them some of the stuff. Their strength coach for the teams are really pretty good. If they're with the All Blacks, Gilly, who's the strength conditioning coach, he'll take them out for a run. They'll go walk through practice. They may have a great stretch or something like that. In a team room at the hotel before they eat breakfast. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to introduce them. There's a lady I met at Sornex Summer Strong a couple of years ago, and I talked to her again this year. And Dana does a lot of mobility and everything else, but there's another young lady, Ingrid Markham.
Okay.
Ingrid? Okay, Ingrid, winning nationals in weightlifting while she's on the U.S. bobsled team.
Yeah.
And I coached her coach, Todd Hayes. So Ingrid is awesome, and she'll kill me when I say it, if she ever hears this, but she was a broken toy from gymnastics and just kept beating herself up until she was to a point. She was telling me this weekend, she was to a point where she was sleeping with a pillow here, a pillow there, pillow here, pillow there, because she was in so much pain, so she stopped.
Yeah.
It's like, no, screw it, I'm going to fix this. So all the mobility stuff that she does really fits what I want. Mm-hmm. Ankles, she's a gymnast.
Yeah.
Beat up ankles, hips, piriformis like we were just talking, shoulders. So I'm getting a bunch of stuff from her, and I'm going to give that to them because I really believe that is really good. There's some other ones out there that's okay. They're okay, some stretching here or there, but I spend hundreds of text messages with Ingrid or conversation when we see each other on developing all of this. She watches stuff for me. So she watches different games and all of that so that she can understand exactly what it is that I want from these. Because we get beat up, they get beat up in the scrum, ankle becomes Achilles tendon, becomes hamstrings. And
so like kinetic change.
Yeah, and the All Blacks scrum low. I mean, where some teams will be up here. So you look at some of the All Black scrums, they're parallel. Here, there's a knee, there's but that foot's just getting destroyed, that hip's getting destroyed. And even in talking to the scrum coach for the All Blacks, who's considered the guru of the world, he couldn't understand why so many players want to train with me online, not with the strength coach or anything else. And so we had a nice little 4.5 hour. Anytime you get invited to the guy's room, it's pretty much an honor.
Yeah.
You walk in and there's 2 tea kettles and a bunch of hot tea. Well, you're in an Englishman or a Kiwi's room. And we sat and drank hot tea for 4 hours talking about body positions, mechanics, biomechanical advantages and disadvantages, and then my part of it, the strength part of it.
So he's very accepting of it?
He's very accepting of it. Now that he understands more, very accepting.
Yeah.
Wasn't as accepting when I was doing just Ben, but they saw what I did with Owen, and he had a banged up groin, banged up hip, and we fixed him by teaching him a little bit different, but just taking my way. I have a different philosophy with it.
So kind of what is your philosophy when it comes to training and...
Heavy, hard, and basic.
Heavy, hard, and basic? Heavy,
hard, and basic. We don't do anything light. If we're going to do light, we're just not going to do it. I don't bang the hell out of them all the time, but one of my favorite exercises is Barbell Rows. Okay. I love them. Been doing them my whole life.
Yeah.
And I've been doing, I still at 55, I still do 160, 170 kilo barbell rows. Wow. Not the 80 kilo barbell rows. Some of these guys from overseas say, oh yeah, I'm doing barbell rows, and they send me a video of 80 kilos. I send a video back on my middle finger. It's like you want to have a load, and that's what I was talking to Chrono about. You want to have a load on that spine. You want to set the shoulders, nice row, bring it back down. Somehow they call the ones pendule rows.
Yeah.
I don't know why, though. I was doing those rows. That's how I taught the rows in the 70s. And I know Glenn. I love Glenn, but Glenn wasn't around in the 70s. Maybe I don't know. Maybe does he?
I don't know
if he popularized. Maybe he popularized it. I don't know. I give him props for it. I call them pendule rows because everybody else does, and I love Glenn, so I'll give him that.
I'll start calling him Cosner.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, something. But so when I say we're going to go heavy and hard, so that's a hard row.
Yeah.
So if I want to back off a little bit, I'm going to put a block down. I'm going to do bodybuilding rows.
Okay.
So we're not going to touch the ground.
Yeah.
I really want to take it even further. I have a 5-foot Ivanko easy curl bar, and we'll do them underhand.
Yeah.
Really want to take it a little bit more off of them. Got an iron mine, fat bar, or I'll get an axle, and we'll do rows that way. So we're going to go as hard as we can, but I'll change the implement.
Yeah.
Same thing for squats, safety bar squats, front squats, back squats. Now that when I was at Sornex looking at the ox bar, lifted out at once.
Yeah.
Told you I had a great squat workout. Walked in the office. All right, I'm getting ready to go back to Houston. Here's my credit card. Can I buy one of those and have that shipped to me?
So you liked it?
I loved it. Yeah. It was awesome.
So it's high intensity, but you switch up exercises.
I switch up exercises, yeah.
It's not a conjugate, but close to the idea of.
It would be very close to
very
it.
Close
yeah,
to
I'm gonna swap exercises out probably for me every 4 to 6 weeks, but also, and I'll do that to a point where I can do that, but there's some times when I can't. So I'm rotating through. Maybe they're 3 weeks in, and they're gonna go to South Africa.
Yeah.
Bars are a little bit iffy over there. Hey, you know what? I'd really like to stay on this cycle for a little bit longer, but I have to change it.
Yeah.
Or Owen just sent me a text message. He's a little banged up right now.
Yeah.
His nervous system's fried a little bit. I go into his program. I train heroic, back some stuff off, change some things around. So it has to still be fluid.
Yeah.
I cannot. They're not powerlifters.
Yeah.
So I can't bang the crap out of them.
Yeah.
So I still have to look at, and I rely on the strength coach for the All Blacks, to give me feedback. But Owen, his brother Ben, when I train him, and other ones, they're always really good about giving me feedback because I tell them it's not personal. Same thing for an exercise: dumbbell rows, different kind of dumbbell rows, chest supported row, seated cable row, anything like that. I'm not personally attached to these exercises. If you don't get a feel off of it, why are you going to do it?
Switch it up.
Switch it up. Maybe you turn your hand this way. Maybe you do this. So
as long as they're round and
that gives them it gives them a little personal bit to it.
Yeah.
You know, now it becomes their workout. You know what I mean? They had an interest in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that helps a lot.
They work a lot
if you can
harder.
get invested in it. And,
Yep.
You know, give it your own personal flair. So do you incorporate a lot of the Olympic lifts in there? A lot of weightlifting?
I call it a lot of Olympic lifts, a little bit of powerlifting, some heavy bodybuilding.
So
I got guys reaching out, binding up, and grabbing a guy across from them.
Yeah.
Guy across from weighs 260 pounds. The 3 guys in the front row are going to absorb anywhere from 22 to 2,400 pounds of force. And they're going to hold it isometrically for 3 to 5 seconds. Ball comes in, they're going to start pushing each other off. Shit, they better have some strong ass arms. So I go back to old throwers.
Yeah.
Old throwers used to do cheat curls. We do cheat curls. Not no 60 kilo cheat curls. 80, 90, 100, 110 kilo cheat curls. You know, we do dips to make sure we stretch everything out.
Yeah.
You know, we do seated shoulder presses. But the powerlifters back in my era, in the 80s, they did Ted Arcides, Kenny Lane, all them, they did heavy behind the neck. We're not going to do behind the neck because their shoulders just too beat up.
Yeah.
But we're going to sit down and we're going to do seated shoulder presses, whether it's with a dumbbell, a bar. We're not going to do it standing. We're not going to do the high school football coaches. How we play standing? We're going to bench today. But I don't allow them to bench like a powerlifter.
Okay.
I do not allow a wide grip. I only allow a narrow grip because this is where we play.
Yeah.
We don't play out here. We don't do anything out here. And it's the same thing for their squat. We squat, yeah, and if I have to, I'll tape a box on the ground.
Okay.
I'll give you parameters to stay inside of. I need your hips and ankles to be flexible. I don't care how much you can half squat. I don't care how much you can wide squat because it's not going to benefit them. That's the same thing for a box squat. We use a box squat. There's a kid out there right now doing some box squatting because he's injured. We'll use a box squat for that and that only.
Yeah.
Because they have to be able to hold and maintain that static.
Yeah.
You know, they have to have that isometric hold, and that's the one thing I do, and they hate me with a passion, is I assign a tempo to squats.
Yeah.
I assign a tempo to RDLs. So, you know, they'll power clean, they'll clean pull, which is, you know, the clean with a nice shrug. So we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna come up, we're gonna do, you know, 5, 6 sets of the power clean, a couple sets of clean pulls, try to mimic that same speed, and then they need to be strong.
Yeah.
I don't need them to be weak, so load the weight up. Do a couple sets of head deadlifts. Finish it off. Make sure that you're done.
Yeah.
You got nothing left in your gas tank. Because if we're doing that one, they've front squatted before already.
Yeah.
They don't have to front squat. The only thing they're going to do is they're going to go back to the front squat or a safety squat bar, and they're going to do good mornings.
Okay.
That's it. 3 exercises they're leaving.
3 exercises.
3 exercises they're leaving. 4 at the most. Maybe a Hungarian core blaster.
So like the Browns, 3 and out, right?
Yeah. Ooh, my buddy of mine, Evan's a strength coach up there. Better not say that.
Yeah, when I was working at the Spot Athletics in Columbus, one of our other strength coaches, he was from Cleveland, big fan, and we called it 3 and out workout, 3 movements, and
3
get out of
movements and
there.
out. Yeah, every time Ben will see something with me, it's like, 5 sets of 5 here. Yeah, that's Ed. I'm like, why do you need to go over to 5 reps? I can't count that high anyways.
So, do you do the conditioning aspect of it too?
I do some. I'll do the conditioning for these guys.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get away from for them is, especially during my little times that I get, they're already conditioned or we need to get off. But I'm teaching them more quickness.
Okay.
They'll condition,
Explosive.
being explosive, being able to quick, change direction, stop. Everybody can stop.
Yeah, stopping's a big one.
Stopping's a big one, change direction that way. And in 2011, when I went down to New Zealand after they won World Cup, I broke out some cone drills. It act like they'd ever seen the damn things in their life. And I did them. Next thing you know, next time we do it, you got coaches out there. Man, where'd you get all these? I'm like, I don't know, 1993 at a strength coaches conference? I got a packet from the guy that was at Tulane.
Yeah.
It was that long ago. Probably, 93.
Jeez.
So the rugby skills coach, Scotty Hansen, who's a great coach, was like, yeah, but in rugby we do this. I'm like, well, yeah. Well, Kenny, I'm like, fucking cone's not glued to the ground.
Yeah.
Move it.
Move it.
Use your imagination, and that's what they do. And it really helped Ben a lot, being able to move, being able to drop his hips. And then he started understanding. So I do a lot of medicine ball.
Okay.
Huge into medicine balls. Always have been for my throwers. So I always tell people, I'll train the front row. The front row guys will get trained like a shot putter. Second row guys will get trained like a discus thrower.
Okay.
You've been around athletics for a while.
Yeah.
What's a shot putter look like? Look like the knuckleheads in the front. What's a discus player look like? Like the knuckleheads in the second row.
Yeah.
Got to be able to move. Got to be explosive. Got to be quick. So quickness, to me, quickness is everything.
Yeah.
I can make them a little faster, but if you really want to get faster, I suggest you go back and pick different parents. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I can do some, but there's only so much I can do. And cheat to cheat, that ain't gonna work with a rugby ball in your hands.
Yeah.
Or a baseball in your hands, or a lacrosse stick in your hands, or a football in your hands. But the one thing I can do is I can make you quick.
Yeah.
And quickness and all of that, to me, starts and ends with being strong.
Being strong.
Being strong. Out of the blocks and sprints, when I was at Baylor, I was in charge of the track team.
Uh-huh.
Out of the blocks and the sprints, you gotta be able to power clean. The more you can power clean over your body weight, the more you can do that.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get stronger power cleaning? It sure as hell ain't just power cleaning.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, go back to the deadlift.
Yeah.
You're only gonna do so much just trying to train like a weightlifter.
Yeah, no, I completely agree that the old adage, just squat more, it doesn't always work. Just deadlift more. You gotta build those weaknesses around it.
Yeah. When I powerlifted, I could only beat up. I had little short T-Rex arms. Everybody else is locking the bar at their knees. I'm locking it at my nuts.
Yeah.
It's not fair, but so I could only deadlift. Usually every other week was sufficient. So I would heavy barbell row the other week. That's how I started liking the rows so much. A little bit of stress on the back, so I'd power clean. As soon as I start missing, I'd start rowing, row another 4 or 5 sets, be done. So my lower back and everything got some beating, but it just didn't get the crap beat out of it.
Yeah.
I did that when I squatted.
Beat the crap out of your back?
Yeah. So I love to squat.
Did you, when you were powerlifting, so I'm assuming you had a weightlifting background before powerlifting?
I had a weightlifting background. When I grew up, that was weightlifting.
Yeah.
I grew up in the early mid-70s.
Yeah.
Weightlifting. You would see some of the powerlifters, but they still did a strict curl contest within the powerlifting meet. Same guys that did the weightlifting meet would do the powerlifting meet.
Yeah.
And then they would do a physique contest. I go back that far. I go back to the YMCA's. So yeah, and when I was in the Army, there wasn't really a lot of Olympic lifting, and there was a lot of powerlifting.
Okay.
And I started
That's how
doing.
you shifted.
Yeah, that's how I shifted over. It was a lot more fun too.
So did you go to the powerlifting squat, or did you keep a high bar Olympic?
No, I went to a powerlifting squat. I went to a low bar squat. I never really moved my legs out that wide. My hips aren't that big.
Yeah.
I went down to, when I got out of the Army, I went to Corpus Christi to powerlift, strictly to powerlift for Rick Gogler, who was a 2-time world champion, first man in the world to squat, 700 at 165.
Wow.
Him, Ricky Dale Crane, and Mike Bridges used to break the records just one after another at meets. I went down there strictly to train for him. And Pete Alanis, that owns Titan, was down there, is down there. So we used to go get measured for our powerlifting suits in his mom's living room. Stand there. It was great though, because if sometimes you need to strap in just a little bit, cinch it up in the hips or something like that as you're starting to drop some weight. Take it over the house. Pick it back up a couple days later. Still, I continued to squat in my old marathon gold lines. Never went away from those. That was Bob Morris was the only one that made the big powerlifting belts until Safe came out, and then Alanis bought that. But bench press shirts weren't even invented yet.
Yeah.
Our wrist wraps were a 1.5 inch ace wrap. And you couldn't cut it with scissors for some reason. You had to pull it over one of the weight trees and smack the shit out of it with a 2.5 pound plate to break it, and then that's what you wore.
Wow.
And you got your meat T-shirt one size smaller because it might help.
Yeah, you get that little bit extra out of
it. Didn't help. My bench press was pathetic. Them short arms didn't do jack. screw up my deadlift and didn't help me bench heavy at all.
Yeah, I'm in that club of smashing my nuts every time I lock out a deadlift.
Yeah,
it's not very
it's
fun.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I wish I had a couple more inches in my arms I could lock out here.
Exactly.
So, how did powerlifting kind of influence your sport training? I mean, obviously getting stronger, but like, what would you say is the difference between how you train for powerlifting and how you train athletes?
Add power cleans in.
Add power cleans in.
We don't squat clean.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to take that many squats. We have other squats we have to do.
Yeah.
Some of them will snatch. My backs will snatch. Second row will snatch. Front row after a while they won't snatch, and it's not necessary. I can get. Yes, the snatch is great. Yes, the snatch will, elicit a lot of explosive power. Yeah, I can teach it to anybody. However, if it hurts your shoulders when you catch, why the hell am I going to do that? So I use the medicine ball. And these guys will all, after every strength movement, after every strength workout's over, they'll throw med balls.
Okay. Smart, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's my explosive, there's my coordination, and it's a release. And we're not going to, it's not a 20, 25 pound med ball. Yeah. It's a 6, 10, 12 pound med ball. Yeah. I want it to be ballistic. I want it to be explosive. I don't want to grind through shit. I can do that on a clean.
Yeah.
So hang cleans, power cleans, a lot of shoulder presses, but my shoulder presses all come from bodybuilding.
Yeah.
There's no, we'll jerk some, but you beat up your Achilles enough, you really don't want that dynamic split if a guy doesn't have to.
Yeah.
I don't need to take the chance of that foot coming back. That's how I screwed up my Achilles before.
Yeah.
Split, bam, hit, it gave. It was already beat up. Yeah, now I got a great 12-inch scar down the back of it, from rupturing it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I always weigh those, the cost versus, effect. Is it gonna do this? Yeah, we're not gonna. When they deadlift, they are never allowed to round their back.
Okay.
The powerlifter rounds his back because he's trying to leave that bar down there and finish.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I need him to continue to push weight through there, and at no point do I want that. So we're still going to stay here. I mean, we're not going to stay here, like some Olympic lifts. We're going to stay here. To train that, I'll use sandbags. No stones because they leave you a little beat up. And so I'll use the sandbags. And you get a lot of times they'll look at it and they're like, "Where's the handle?"
Yeah.
Right here, princess. Grab that son of a bitch. And stop coming out with these ones with handles on them.
Yeah.
The handle is your hands. My duffel bag's back there.
Yeah.
With about 250 pounds of sand in it.
There's a few things that bridge those gaps of weakness and strength, like picking up heavy shit and just walking with it.
That's it too. Ben went down. My All Black that's playing in London right now. London Irish went to Iceland. Hooked him up with a friend of mine there. He got to go train some strongman. He did a 90 kilo stone. He's like, my back felt great, but it was wrecked.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I told you that before. That little bit of roundness and picking it up, it helps strengthen that kinetic chain. It doesn't. It's inevitable. We want everybody to be that way, especially when you're making contact. You don't want to collapse.
Yeah.
And if my front row guys are scrumming and they collapse, the hooker in the middle is going to end up with his neck hurt because his hands are tied behind. He can't get his hands out to protect himself. So that whole thing crushes. He's going to get hurt, and it's a penalty. And the penalty for us is they can kick for 3 points.
Yeah.
So penalty's important. So we can't have it collapse. But I know that they're going to be in that crappy position. So why not strengthen that chain so that when it is in that shitty position, they're at least strong and they won't collapse anymore. Yeah. So lower backs, mid back, everything else, we're going to get strong. We're going to use sandbags, stones, partner carries, Zercher squats, stuff that people stay away from. I'm going to use. We do good mornings, not just with the bar. I make them hug that, a 200-pound plus sandbag, reach underneath it, lock in. I make them do good mornings, pulling that thing in next to them. That way, when they do tackle somebody gets hurt. But in that, though, like we were talking, biceps are involved in there.
Yeah.
The triceps are involved in there. I look for different things that are, besides just cheat curls, we'll do hammer curls. Depending on where they're at, sometimes we're not going to be able to supinate over. You should beat your shoulders up enough. I mean, easy curl bar hurts. So we're not gonna do that, but we'll do reverse curls. A lot of dips if I can, just to make sure that I can keep some flexibility and everything else. And it's funny that some guys where they can't snatch and some other stuff will hurt, but dips don't bother them. So I'll attack that when we can. But yeah, plus I'm training. I'm 55. I still want my t-shirts to fit me a little tight in the arms. For my high school kids, they want their shirts fit tight. Maybe they get out of the extra medium section. Jeez, it was horrible when Under Armour stopped putting the size on the back dial back there. It used to be cool when they put it back there and somebody would be behind you in line. They're like, this son of a bitch is wearing a 3X. It's stretching. Yeah, it's a real 3X. Now, 3X is like an extra medium.
Yeah.
I don't need to accent this thing.
Yeah, 2XL, wherever I go clothes shopping, is like a medium now. And it's just like, ugh.
Worse when they get stuff from overseas.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a 3X. No, it's not.
Yeah, I was in Lithuania earlier this year and nothing fit. It was just like, it's made for tall, lean people. Everybody over there is tall.
And lean. Yeah, I'm not either.
No.
Maybe for a garden gnome.
So what are your plans in the future? I mean, you're training people here. You got the rugby players. Do you have anything?
Like I said, I'm taking a lot of this stuff online.
Yeah.
On Train Heroic, I'm getting ready to put more programs up on there to get it out there. I'm also sell them in the marketplace, but formulating teams where it's a little bit more personal. The other ones are just generic programs that I'll put up, and these are a little bit more personally driven to them, or maybe the front row or a hooker that's in the middle is going to be a little bit different. The second row guys are going to be a little bit different because they're taller on volume, on intensity, and all of that. So just doing that, trying to get more people for that. I've got people overseas a lot. My high school kids, I see the pitifulness of high school strength training programs. Some guys are out there, they're trying, they're doing really well, battling high school football coaches with their brain dead mentality. They want the rugby coach to come out there and teach them how to tackle correctly, because heaven forbid you actually know how to do your job. But then I've had a couple of kids from an area high school, they were told during spring ball, while they were getting ready for state finals in rugby, well, if you're playing spring ball, you ain't playing anymore, you need to make a decision. And all three of them said, right there, and left the football team. And went to the rugby side. So it's really unfortunate, because all the research out there, and there's a lot of great people doing a lot of good stuff and saying it, be multi-sport athlete, that's your better athlete.
I know. I went to Ohio State, and I think like 96% of the recruiting class was multi-sport.
Right.
And
be an athlete, be able to move. I got a basketball hoop out there. You saw those knuckleheads out there playing. You put a basketball hoop out there. I don't care what size you are. Everybody wants to shoot. Everybody thinks they can shoot. Nobody can shoot. Brick City out there. But they like to do it.
I've come to learn from my appendages that I'm not a basketball player.
I was told by the assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs my first year. I actually thought I did something wrong, because they're some superstitious bunch of fucking fools. Guys sit in this chair, can only sit in this chair behind the bench on the team flight, everything else. Fuck. And they were coming down in Dallas, my first road trip too. It's like, oh yeah, I'm shooting a few times. They're ugly. They've been up in a meeting, they come down, I'm starting to give the ball to some of the guys. I pass. I played a little bit of basketball in 7th grade. And so, we're doing stuff, and guys were like, shoot the ball back to me. Like, come on, man, let me see you jack a shot. Oh, I jacked something. I barely hit the net. And, oh my God, Coach Egan, which was Pop's coach at Air Force Academy. He was an older guy. Coach Egan comes up, everybody's taller than me, but so he's way up there. He said, don't you ever, and I mean, don't you ever shoot in front of players again. I thought I broke one of Pop's cardinal rules, because you couldn't have a newspaper, a magazine on the team flight, not even in the office in the weight room.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Yeah, maybe he doesn't think people can read. So I was like, oh my God, I'm over there on the side. I'm like, shit. 3 weeks into season, my first road trip, I'm already fired. He's like, turns around, he walks off. He's like, ugliest goddamn shot I've ever seen in my fucking life. I'd have to train everybody. Oh, God, that shot was ugly. It's like, you bastard. You know, like, had to go in the back and, you know, get a new pair of underwear.
So they kept you on for a while, huh?
Kept me on for a while. A couple of championship rings, yeah. And I still played horse with the guys. Okay, they played horse, I played alphabet.
Alphabet, yeah.
Yes, and I would get a Z before anybody had an O. But they respect me because I'm out there shooting. I'm out there jacking the shot up. Mostly just jacking it up. Just, it was bad. But
well, you
got to have fun, but you got to have, the guys are going to buy into you when you know. You know, same thing. You know, I went to Spurs. I'm teaching guys how to Olympic lift. I'm teaching guys how to squat correctly. Well, what's going to motivate them? Hey, you know what? If you do this, this, and this for me, I will teach you 2 new arm exercises.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. And they bust their ass. Teach them how to do bench dips and freaking concentration curls. And they were good with it. Man. Older players, we were doing some stuff with the medicine ball. I told you I'm real big into med ball throws and everything else, patterns, for flexibility, for not just for the explosiveness. And I had these guys, we were doing some just around the head, into the ground, around the head, trying to get them to really get a nice rotation, pivot. And I told Danny Ferry and David Robinson, you know what this will do for your golf game? If you can get your hips to loosen up and be able to move? Not your basketball game, not the one you make, you know, X amount of thousands of dollars a game for.
Yeah.
Nah, shit. My golf game? Talk to me, young fella. I'm like, Lord, David, I love you, but I'm about 10 years older than you, but but I'll take the young fella. The other groups where we were trying to rotate through during warm-ups, no. Nobody else could get in this group. No, y'all go ahead. Y'all go over there. I had 5 guys, and all they wanted to do was do the med ball so they could help their golf game. But it motivated them to do something.
Get them the buy-ins half. You know, that's more than half the battle.
Yeah. Ben Franks, my All Black that I trained, the first one that I trained, it was an All Black. When he flew me down to New Zealand, and we talked, and because I'd been training him since January, now it's December, and you know, I'm down there for 4 weeks training him. We got to talking. He's like, you know why everybody liked you and everybody wanted to be around you, and why I brought you in. Not long before we knew the knowledge that you had. Look at you. And before I got a little more beat up, you know, 265, 270 pounds, you know, benching 400, you know, any day of the week, you know, squatting 650, you know, in a pair of gym shorts and a belt, talking shit the whole time, you know, trap bar deadlifting, you know, moving the dumbbells. But they saw me doing stuff. Yeah. And they saw my physical body, and that is the one biggest thing that they sold. So, you know, a lot of these guys, and like I said before, you know, Chrono was asking me why are these guys coming to you? Because they don't want to be trained by somebody like this. Yeah. Not that this guy doesn't know his shit.
But if you don't have that experience where the rubber meets the road.
Right. And, you know, I worked under a very good strength coach at Baylor, but he weighed 103 pounds soaking wet. Yeah. With a full belly of chicken and rolled quarters in his pocket. And he didn't understand the cues on a squat. It's more than big chest. Yeah. There's much more to the squat than just big chest. Yes, it's just a linear movement. It is a meathead, knucklehead movement. Anybody can do it to a point. Yeah. But if you're asking this college football player to max, you better be telling him something other than big chest. Yeah. To get him in the right position so that he'll be successful.
Yeah, that's a big problem I see, especially nowadays online. Is there's so many,
and that's the one
many bookworms that they've never been under a bar, or even if they have been under a bar,
it's not been with very much.
Exactly,
it's been a PVC pipe. Yeah, you got some cleans with that PVC. Girls bar or something. Sorry, girls. And that's why I stayed away from, and I still am struggling with putting stuff online. Yeah. And I've got 2 NBA championship rings. I've helped, you know, the guys in the All Blacks win. My forwards win 2 medals in Rugby World Cup. I've got world championships myself. Yeah. And I still don't think that I'm good enough to put stuff up there. Then I see other ones up there like, yeah. And then I'm like, you're charging how much? Shit, bitch, please, move aside. You know, I just didn't want to be one of those online gurus.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be that online guru.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to put myself out there. I am going to get the information out there that a lot of these people, a lot of these rugby guys need and desire. And John Welborn from Power Athlete HQ, I started, CrossFit for football. They just moved to Austin.
Okay.
And John's really been helping me and mentoring me.
And the online stuff?
And the online stuff, because he's got a lot of people on Train Heroic. And he was telling me, he's like, I had 8,000 people before I went to Train Heroic. I was all this other, was already done with that. He says, why are you trying to start? So I was like, NBA throwing in the Highland Games, throwing with the shot put, all this. And I had all this stuff, and I just got so overwhelmed trying to program for all this. Start small. Then you can work your way out. And I looked at them, and we just talked about it just this weekend at Sore Neck Summer Strong. I was like, I don't want to work wild. I just want to do the tight five, and we call it the loose forwards.
Yeah.
So I always say that the tough tight fives or the tight five, and a few tough loosies. Because if there's a tough loosie, he can play with us.
Yeah.
But if he's just a pretty haired back that and just wants to peel off, I can find somebody else. So that's that core group that I want.
Yeah.
He's like, well, then you can start doing more. I'm like, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to perfect that and do more with that and start doing speaking and everything else about what I do with these guys.
Yeah.
And he looked right at me, and he played in the NFL.
Yeah.
The guy's a big boy. He's still got some big sausage fingers. Puts his hands on my shoulder, looks down at me, goes, then why the fuck are you trying to do all this other stuff? I don't know. that was the only thing I could say. I don't know. So it was really, and that's it. And that's where I'm going to go with that.
I think that's awesome.
So
and how do people find that? It's trainheroic.com?
They can find it. They can find me on trainheroic.com in the marketplace. Just look up Ed Cosner, or they can contact me through my website off of Power Sports Strength Conditioning, and the website is www.playhardtrainharder.com.
Okay.
Because that's my whole thing is you got to play the game hard. In order to play the game hard, you've got to train harder.
Yeah.
The training has to be harder and more intense than the game itself.
Game should be the fun play day.
Game should be the fun play day. The training should elicit a physiological response, and it can't unless it's hard as hell. It can't be comfortable, and it can't be easy. Everybody always talks about recovery, restoration, recovery, and you look at their training program, and you're like, yeah, what are you recovering from? Train a little harder. You'll recover. Then you deserve to recover.
Yeah.
But you don't need an ice bath. You don't need to go to cryotherapy and all this stuff. I've seen your training. Your 4 sets of squats really didn't beat your body up that much.
Very true.
But I'd come up with that a long time ago, long before I knew that. And it's been my philosophy my whole life. I started lifting at YMCA, followed my dad when I was 12. I'm 55 years old, and I still lift. And this past weekend, I still squatted 515 pounds for a couple of sets of 2, and then picked up the original McLachlan stones, and then 2 days later, turned around and squatted a bunch of sets and ended up right around 500 pounds again.
Wow.
After standing on my feet, eating way too much barbecue and drinking a lot of beer. And still ended up doing the same thing. Any day of the week I could walk in and do that because my strength was just built the old way.
Exactly.
Heavy.
You should be able to come off the road and step out of bed and
still be able to lift heavy.
Exactly.
Yep. I don't need to warm up. Well, I tie my shoes.
Yeah.
That's a good stretch.
That's a strongman warm up.
I'll put tape on my thumb sometimes.
Walk to the rope.
My rep.
Yeah.
I'll walk up to the platform. You know what though? The plates are down, so I got to lean over and put them up on the bar. A lot of plates to put up. It's a good stretch, a good warm up. I will stretch, and I do stretch afterwards, but not before.
Yeah.
We'll see, because I just don't want to.
Well, hey, I appreciate it.
Oh God,
thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And hopefully I can get down here and get some training in.
Anytime you want.
Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you look below for the sponsors: Elite FTS, Hate Brand Goods, and Train Strongman. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can send me an email. Again, all that information will be below. And I'll see you out on the road. Thanks.